welcome back to Dukascopy TV. I'm Monica Gibson, and alongside me now is Dukascopy regular Mourtaza Asad-Syed. Mourtaza, welcome back to the studio.
Thanks for having me.
Now, you've been in a few times. We've spoken about a plethora of topics, but today we are going to be speaking about your new book that you've written and published. Now, you say about really the gold investing handbook of the year. You say about writing a book on gold in 2014 is a bit like writing down 36,000 really. So can you tell myself and the audience a little bit about what drove you towards this product and why you feel like that as well?
So my interest in gold was very low at the beginning, and now I got to get interested in gold mostly for client reasons. Private clients are very eager to own gold, and a lot of international clients are very keen in holding a lot of gold, and there is all this conspiracy theory about gold investing. So it's really pushed me to have more a rational approach to gold, and I found gold to be surprisingly rational in terms of its pricing, and much really away from all the conspiracy or the anecdote about gold pricing being like a hidden or a bad asset, so an unproductive, useless asset. When I was comparing to Dow 36,000, which was a famous book on the stock market at the top of the bubble, was the fact that maybe the timing of the release of the book on gold now was maybe not like the best when you look at the gold market. In fact, on the contrary to Dow 36,000, the book has been released and been published after the market crashed. So I think the gold market, which I think is an attractive place to invest, at least for the medium long term, is much cheaper than it was 1.5 years ago, which clearly, when we look at a framework of valuation, was showing that gold was quite overvalued.
Now, the book itself is presented in a kind of interesting way. It sets out the conclusion about the future or the evolution of prices, and then also the drivers towards it. Can you perhaps talk us through a little bit about this, please?
So, beside the attributes of gold being in nature different, what really this book brings is the framework about valuing gold. And we fully dismiss gold as being a commodity, since it's not really used. It's really being extracted, but on a very small amount compared to the overall stock, and it's mostly the stock that is traded. The stock is like a currency. And the mining is like the new money supply into the system. And really the monetary framework, the valuation of gold as a currency is really powerful, especially in the last 15 years. There's a clear correlation that gold is priced as a currency, not as a commodity, which means that the main driver of currency is inflation and interest rates. So it makes gold valuation very linked to the business cycle dynamics. So I think for a tactical investor, looking at the real interest rates, looking at the Fed future moves in this coming business cycle, is the framework to have for 6 to 18 months in terms of gold valuation.
The title of the book talks about the upcoming US default. So you've spoken about the drivers, but with all that in mind, perhaps we can focus on the value of gold in terms of the asset allocation, perhaps.
Yeah, exactly. That's the different perspective of gold. Gold is a kind of ultimate currency. It's a kind of insurance versus all other currencies. The idea on the US was not about the US being bankrupt, as it could be the case for European states. It's mostly about the US not paying back non-resident. I'm fully confident that the US will pay its own citizen, and I don't think there will be huge inflation because this is taxing its own citizen and its own voters. I think the tradition in the US is making other people pay. As long as non-resident they've been like maybe fool enough or naive enough to finance the US big time, like Japanese, Koreans, and Chinese now, and somewhat the Europeans. I think those people might bear the cost of the US not paying back at full promises the government debt they own. So gold, in that sense, was the only hedge against this kind of disruption.
Excellent. Well, it sounds very interesting. Where is it available at the moment?
It's available on the Amazon, Amazon.com, either on Kindle, electronic format, or hard copy.
On the hard copy as well.
And I think it will be also in Switzerland, available in bookstores.
Fantastic. Well, it's very interesting speaking it through with you. An ultimate currency, a hedge, you know, many multifaceted to say the least. Thank you so much, Mourtaza, for coming in and speaking it through with us. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, well that's all from Mourtaza and myself for the moment, but make sure you keep clicking back to Dukascopy TV for many more exclusive interviews. Goodbye for now.